All right, everyone. Happy ban list. It's finally time. Unfortunately, this is the deck list that I was going to show you guys. I just played a mini tourney with a couple of the friends this past weekend. Went undefeated with this deck. I'm just going to show you the spice. And fortunately, with the ban list, all we really have to do is take out snow. So, without further ado, let's get it cracking. All right, so into the main deck. For the monsters, we play 3 Merly, 3 Avernus, and 3 Sheeran. We don't play any Rhinoheart. I prefer the darks. And we're not really playing any rank 4s, so it doesn't really matter to have those extra 4s. And the ceiling for this deck is already so high that you want more consistency, and you also want to be a little bit different. Also, if you do want to just change it up, I would throw probably 1. Because with this build, anything that gets banished, you can actually add it back into your deck, and I'll show you what I do to tech that. But yeah, so just the 9 for your tier element monsters. Then you play the spice. This is the normal summon you want to go for. There's one other one that I'll show you in 1 second. If you end up drawing or milling your Cobra, you just use Mud Dragon to shuffle it back into the deck with any of your tier elements. So your Ortho Scorpio is always live. And then for this, you can search your Super Polys. You can search your Instant Fusion. So usually if I have a way, like Sheeran or some other names or the Field Spell, or just a way that I know that I'm gonna get my mills and my fuse, then I will search the spice, which is Destiny Fusion. So, or Fusion Destiny. So Fusion Destiny just got bumped up to 3. So obviously this is the build that I was playing. We'd take Fairy Tale Snow out and bump up Fusion Destiny. So that's easy peasy. So we play the 1 Celestial, and it comes up a bunch to actually banish and mill. And then we got the Dasher. His effect comes up only accidentally when I'm playing on Nexus. So yeah, so that's that little bit of tech. So this is we want to get around people trying to shut off our fusions, or if they think we're going fusion heavy, because this is a pretty fusion heavy deck. The other half of the extra deck though is links, and to get free monsters, also it's a banish deck too. So you got your Gizmax, and you did have your snow, but now, so you got your 3 Gizmax, and then you got your 2 Necroface. So Necroface, if you normal summon this, you shuffle all banish cards into the deck. So if you're getting low, because Gizmac banishes 8, this is a 40 flat card build. Everything recycles itself, so you don't want to play more. You don't need to. You can always use your resources properly and get it back as long as you don't banish both your Necrofaces. You don't even have to worry about your opponent banishing your kit, because your tier elements are used more as fodder to bring out utility bosses in the form of fusion. So with your Shaddoll Beast, you make Winda. And then with your Mass Change, you make Darklaw. So basically a Winda, Darklaw, and your links, you'll see once I get to the extra deck. So you're not too worried about banishing everything. So since you're not worried about banishing everything with your Gizmax and your Necrofaces, also part of that package is Potted Desires. Hopefully, I was hoping it was going to come back to 3, but 2 is fine. With a Potted Desires and a Gizmac, that's 18. That's an extra 36 attack for your 0 Boros, so that's 6/6. So that basically will get over your access codes or any big tower monsters that people are putting up. And that's not even counting their banished pile. So Potted Desires must in this deck. Like I said, I only have the 1 field spell. So I would play 2 more, and I probably wouldn't play terraforming because I see this so very little. I actually don't need it to win, like, at all. So when I see it, it's just pure plus. So I do play the 1 terraforming with it, obviously, because you do want to see it if you only have minimal way to see it. I am going to get the trap and test out the Crystal Beast. So we'll see how that goes, and I will eventually pick up a 2nd and a 3rd copy. So yeah, if you don't want to play the Necrofaces, the Gizmex, Fusion Destinies, you can always just add 2 more of these and your Rhino Hearts, and that evens it up. You got your super, or your instant fusion. I got the 1 super poly. I was waiting for the ban list. Now that it's, now that we know that super poly ain't hit, expect 3 super polys main deck. You got your instant fusion along with your 2 to 3 fusion destinies. You got your Called by the Grave. I main deck 2 Galaxy Cyclone, and I was probably going to switch this for Twin Twister, but I just didn't bring my staples with me, so I just ended up maining both. And it worked out pretty well, especially with Mystic Mine roaming at 3. You might as well play 2 to 3 of these and start maining deck other spell trap removal. We got 3 Dark Ruler No Mores. I like my deck to be built as much as going first as for going second, just in case. You never know, you're probably going to lose the die roll. And in this format with tiers and stuff, you don't know, sometimes they want to go second, so they'll force you to go first, so you can't even plan on going second every time. So I would like to play droplets instead of Dark Ruler No Mores, just in case, because then I can set the droplet. So that's that. For traps, we play the 1 Solic, and you can bump this up to 2 or 3 if you'd like. I like 1. I think 1's just fine. And since we don't play any hand traps, I would like to play some sort of hand trap. So I play the 2 Infinite Impermanence, and that makes it a pure 40 card deck. Infinite, a lot of people don't plan on a tier deck playing Infinite too for some reason right now. So it's just, it catches people off guard. You set it, they usually think it's like Solic. So if they get rid of your tier, they think it's a dead card, whatever. It's not. Boom, Infinite Impermanence. So that's the main deck. For the extra deck, we play 1 Sprite Elf. I make Sprite every game. I make this every game, especially with the Protoplant. So with the Protoplants, you end with these 2. And let's say you add Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion for your kit, your Merly. You leave Merly on field. So you have that. So that's without milling anything. That's just with getting the kit. And with normal summoning this, ditching a monster, special summoning this, adding Instant Fusion, using Instant Fusion, special summoning Kit Kalios, kit effect to add Merly to hand, Merly, special kit effect to pop itself to special Merly, Merly mill 3, well, kit mill 5, Merly mill 3 to chain block. And then let's say you mill absolutely nothing. You use these 2. Boom. This brings back that. These 2. IP. You at least, if you milled absolutely nothing, which you never do, you always mill something, you at least have this. So Sprite Elf IP comes out every game, and that's why half the deck is Link. We have Dark. Dark is perfect just for everything. So much utility. Especially if you want to play sprites, you could steal their blue, go off. Curious. Curious is like the best Link 3 still. Even though you can't do the snow play, you can still do the anti-spell or the virus play. Or any other floodgate. You got Bomber, Zero Boros. Zero Boros MVP. This is hilarious because even when my friend or opponents know what this does, they still accidentally summon all the time. And as they do it, they realize they're like, ah, well, scoop. We got the Underworld Goddess because it's cheap now. But I actually ended up pulling it, so you'll see that video. Lovely. You got the 1 kit. Just the 1. Like I said, you shuffle back all your resources. You only need 1. And then if they think they're being clever and they end up banishing your kit, it's no worries. Like I said, you're just going to bring it back anyways. So that's that. You got your Mud Dragon, your Garura, Super Poly targets, and you end up just making them so often during your turn to link up. You got your Dark Law. I love Dark Law. Catches so many people off guard. They got to work around this all in itself half the time. Same with Winda. People are off of it, so you can still catch people off by surprise bringing out Winda. Same with Dark Law. You got the one Dragon Stapelia. Always great. And because we're playing Predaplants, and you end up seeing Predaplants in your hand and in your grave so often, we play Chimera Flasia. Chimera Flasia is a boss all in itself. If you don't know what it does, once per turn, you can target one monster on the field with a level less than or equal to this card and banish it. So obviously, Dragon Stapelia makes everything a 1. So you just banish whatever it made a 1 and negated. Then when an attack is declared involving this card, whether your turn or your opponent's turn, this card gains 1,000 attack. Your opponent loses 1,000 attack. So until the end of this turn, that opponent's monster loses 1,000 attack. And if that happens, then this card gains 1,000 attack. So it goes up to 3/5 and lowers everything else 1,000 that you're attacking. Once per turn, during the next standby phase after this card was sent to the graveyard, so even if they do pop it, you get to add a polymerization spell card or fusion spell card from your deck to your hand. So that's Super Poly, that's Instant Fusion, that's your Fusion Destiny. It's just too nice. It's too broken of a card. So, and a lot of people don't know what it does. So it's just nice, catches people off guard. And last but not least, you see it, Starlight, Destiny Hero, Destroyer Phoenix. I know. Why are you playing it? Now it's a light plate or whatever. I ain't planning on selling it, buddy. So that's why I got the spice. It looks too nice. I still treat it with love. But yeah, so that's the extra deck. Let's go into the side deck real quick. And you'll see the other card that got knocked out. So we got the Pankratops. Too nice. I almost main deck it. You got the 3 Nibs from the new tins. Too nice. You got the Ash Blossoms. Only got one from the new tin. I like them so much better than the Golds. Golds cost me like 40 each when I got them. Ashes are too cheap right now. I gotta get 2 more. This is the one that I pulled. 2 Ghost Spell for DD Crow. I didn't actually get DD Crowed at all. So, but still good to have just in case. We got the Harpy's Feather Duster for more back row hate. I'm going to have to figure something else out because I had Red Reboot as the other back row hate. And it's too nice of a card. Too sexy. But going to join Snow in the Forbidden list. We got the 2 Evenly Matched. Might just bump up a 3rd instead of the Reboot. So you just play the 3rd Evenly Matched. And then we got the 1 Anti-Spell Fragrance with the Griffin combo. This wasn't hit whatsoever. So you can play the Virus. I prefer Anti-Spell just because I don't need to rip it for the next 3 turns if I stop them for that turn. And I just keep building resources with how everything recycles itself. The advantage is just going to be so massive. It doesn't really matter if they pop this or anything. Like, this will usually stop them for a turn, and that's all I need. So, I'll come up with a new deck list, and I'll see you guys soon. Happy Banlist, like I said. Peace.